MotorWeek is made possible by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper and TireRack.com.
For every household name in European automotive history, there are many others that just never gained traction in the US, despite making sports cars that could leave their peers in a cloud of dust.
One of those brands is TVR, a British automaker you may not have heard of, but actually has been around for almost 80 years. And in that time, this is perhaps their signature model, the Griffith 500, a car that on paper anyway, had everything necessary to get people's hearts racing.
Ralph Berthier is the owner of this 1998 TVR Griffith 500, which he's owned since 2022 after importing it from England. A longtime enthusiast, he'd been looking for a car that had the perfect combination of speed, good looks, and driving comfort, while also being a little rare. The Griffith checked all those boxes.
It's a raw performance car. I mean, it's kind of in between a Viper and a Cobra. I mean, it's just raw, and I like that. I like that it's something a little bit different, something that I don't see all over the place. You know, you don't want to come out of the supermarket and say, okay, which Porsche Boxster is mine?
But before we focus on the Griffith, I mentioned that many of you may not be familiar with the TVR brand. Well, since they've been around since 1946, I could literally spend an entire episode on TVR's history. So in the interest of time, I'll summarize them this way. TVR is a boutique British sports car company with a reputation for creating fast two-seaters with striking, often beautiful designs, but unfortunately they've gone bankrupt 3 times. Despite trying to make inroads in the US several times, the brand never set up a consistent dealer network in America, and few units ever made it here. MotorWeek has reviewed only 2 TVRs in over 40 years, a 380i Tasman as part of a 1985 review of imported convertibles, and a Ford V8 modified Grand Tourer that was developed by, fittingly enough, American entrepreneur Jack Griffith. Though they haven't produced a car since 2006, TVR is technically still in existence and reportedly working on a new V8 coupe that's being developed in partnership with racing legend Gordon Murray and Cosworth. But as luck would have it, the last model that was available to a few US buyers was arguably the company's best, the Griffith 500.
It's a shame this car never took off in the United States because I think Americans would love it. I mean, it's basically a muscle car. It's got a big V8 up front, rear-wheel drive, and then of course, there's the noise.
With an all-fiberglass body, the Griffith 500 is roughly the same size and weight as a first-generation Miata. But the Griffith's engine, well, that couldn't be more different. It's a 5-liter, 340-horsepower all-aluminum V8 supplied by fellow British automaker Rover, an engine they got from Buick in 1969 and then used for decades. As you can imagine, putting a big V8 in a car the same size as a Miata produces some dramatic results.
Even by today's standards, it's very quick. 0 to 60 is just over 4 seconds, and with 350 pounds of torque, you just touch that accelerator and you're off like a rocket.
When it came out, the Griffith was as fast or faster to 60 than any 911 model, the Corvette ZR1, and only a few tenths slower than a Lamborghini Diablo. As for Ferrari, only the mighty F40 was quicker. Handling is very precise and there is immediate feedback through the steering wheel, and even the tiniest road variations are instantly translated to your fingers. There's no traction control, ABS, or driver aids of any kind, it's just you and the car. Inside, it's comfortable and refined, with soft leather, posh seats, and an easy-to-read dash layout with refined gauges and wood trim, all angled toward the driver, making for a classic, understated British elegance. It all adds up to an experience that for people like Ralph is something truly special.
At the end of the day, I really don't care who notices it. It's for me. It helps me smile during the day and the week, and that's what it's about.
The MotorWeek app, which includes our latest reviews and feature stories, is now available for mobile devices.